You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit in a plan and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing, yeah. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
All right, welcome to Party Pals GRC Mafia. Hope everybody's having an awesome week. Right out of the gate here, we are here to break down barriers, foster collaboration, community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. And yeah, definitely drop questions and so forth throughout. So this is our Job Readiness Group Resume review. We have 3 resumes to go through. And then also we were going to do a special segment thanks to the help of PBO. And then also Cam has volunteered to be the interviewee for a mock interview style kind of thing. And we'll give that a try. It may turn into a Discord event only or otherwise. It also is heavily dependent on volunteers and so forth. So, you know, shout out to both PBO and Cam for volunteering to even do that portion. Also, the weekly badges are now enabled, so you guys can head on over to the Discord server. Inside of the Discord server, not only is that the best place outside of these live streams, but then also it allows you to drop links through the live chat channel. You can also collect your weekly badge every Thursday night when we go live. And you can go through and do GRC Mafia in capital letters in the live chat channel, and you get a special badge in the Discord server for the next week. That also unlocks a Badge Hunters channel as well for just maybe some sneak peeks or other things like that. I did drop the stage link a moment ago as well. So this is very much a collaborative environment and so forth. You guys are welcome to hang out and chat. We'll go ahead and keep up with that the best we can. But you are also welcome to come up here on stage if you would like. You do not have to turn on your video. You could run microphone only. And yeah, just don't share anything that you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or contact@studygrc.org. Also, another thing is we do have the Coffee Mafia, which is 100% no cost. We do not want anything in exchange whatsoever. You could just go through, select what time works for you, enter your email address and a little bit about what you would like assistance with, and then it'll automatically book with one of the different 8 volunteers that we have. That's also going in chat there as well. Let me just double check chat here for a moment. We got AB popping in. We got Cam. We got Brexy and Cam. We're both trying to get that badge early. Also, congratulations to We here. You have won the the monthly giveaway itself. So I'll definitely be reaching out to you after the stream and we'll get that all situated. But yeah, congratulations. Yeah, and also AB shouting out to him as well. Welcome to the Party Pals. We also got B-Dubs hopping in chat too. Let's see. I just want to catch up on this section first before we skip to the next. That is a great question. I was actually just talking to somebody else who asked that question. And so Jasmine said, what happened to the memberships? I was refunded a monthly membership today. So, yeah, Cam, ironically, I believe was the first person who noticed this. So that's going to be something else that's going to be coming up and so forth. So we do what we do, not for anything in exchange or otherwise. And so there's a better option that's coming out that we're working on that should be coming in the next, 2 or 3 weeks. And, YouTube takes a 30% cut off of the top of that in the first place. And you guys aren't really getting anything in exchange for that. We're adding a couple other platforms on as well. And really, like, the whole membership portion just wasn't the direction we really ideally wanted to go with that. So we ended up actually manually disabling the membership itself. My understanding was that it should, wait until your renewal or otherwise, rather than refund it. But yeah, I was just telling them, I'm curious if anybody else is going to notice that or not. Definitely always B-Dubs' fault. Cam said that he's getting himself a contact bar. Oh gosh. I mean, hey, whatever works. But yeah, we have a couple different projects in the backstage kind of thing. I'll move over here real quick. We're done with that portion. But yeah, we have a couple different projects in the back room, the green room, whatever you want to call it, that we're working on. That's going to provide some different options for the community itself. We've done quite a few different streams and so forth, and we just want to provide as much value as possible. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go to our ad roll. If you guys are unfamiliar, we are not looking for paid sponsorship or otherwise. Instead, we're just trying to shout out other awesome creators and people in the space and so forth. So we'll be right back.
Do you love cybersecurity and GRC? Do you like analogies stretched further than my hairline? Then do I have a channel for you. Hi, my name is Cameron, also known as Cam, and I want to invite you to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cam Goddess, where I dive into various topics, frameworks, terms, and foundational knowledge within the broad categories of cybersecurity and GRC. I'm passionate about these things and about taking complex concepts and making them more easily understandable, more easily defined. Everyone is a nerd about something, so come, nerd, learn, and grow with me.
Yeah, and I hope you guys aren't too upset about the membership portion. I promise it's going to be made up here in the next few weeks. Also, before I bring everybody up on stage, B-Dub says the secret room. Yeah, it's really just the best thing to call it is just Illuminati. We'll just go with that. There's a reason in the Discord server why we have an Illuminati thing there. But yeah, let's welcome to the Party Pal Cam and PBO. We're gonna have to run it with that one. Bam. You guys ready?
Well, it'd have been nice if you'd have gave me a little more detail in Discord, but we're ready to roll.
Oh, come on, PBO. You're an expert, SME, the whole 9 yards.
I'll be fine, but I just thought we were going over resumes. I didn't know I was interviewing Cam, but no pressure. We can make it work. No pressure. No pressure.
Oh, yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
You roll out of bed and interrogate. I mean,
it'd have been a little nice. I'm listening to the intro. I'm like, oh shit, I'm interviewing Cam. Okay, we can make this work.
Oh God. Come on, PBO. You got to stay on top of things.
I'm fine. It's okay. Just give me a little more detail in the Discord. You just send me a couple things and be like, show up at 7 Eastern time. I'm like, okay.
Well, you got a few minutes. You can go over the documents and so forth. We'll go over these resumes and then do an interview section.
While you were doing your soliloquy, I was on it. I got them both up and started looking at them a little tighter. No, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, and welcome to the Party Pal Regine as well. And I see B-Dubs even came up on stage. Bam.
Right.
GRC Mafia.
Yeah, I snuck up here.
Let me see if I could rearrange this in a better format. Yeah, we could probably just run that. I don't know.
It's awful small. That's awful small.
Yeah, I know. Poor PBO.
I'm like, that's awful small.
Just get your magnifying glass out.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
not do that one.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad right there.
Yeah, but it won't let me move around on the document.
Okay. My head look big as hell. I'm gonna back up or something.
Looks. All right. I mean, whatever makes you sleep at night.
I was like, wow. Gotta zoom out on me.
Yeah, well, and let's just there we go. There we go. A little bit better there. All right, now we can actually see the resume itself. Yeah, so this is the first resume here. Anything off the bat? This particular individual, I don't believe has any experience. They do say 4+ years for the security analyst in enterprise environments, but I believe they're trying to pivot into GRC itself. And they've applied to like over 150 positions. They're looking for like audit roles or compliance. So we do have a little bit more background on these 3 resumes here, or at least the 2 resumes.
So right off the bat, there's no reason you need your address on your resume. I could see like, for mine, I put my state. I could see like a larger geographical region, but you don't need your address on a resume. And then that would reduce that into 1 line versus 2.
Yeah, and you were also anti-phone numbers on the resume as well, right?
You don't need a phone number. They have your email address, and that's the way they're going to proceed with it anyways. And then they'll set up a time to call.
B-dubs, I always get calls. I don't. Most people call me.
I've never gotten a call in multiple fields, like outside of cybersecurity too.
Yeah.
Because you don't have your cell on there.
No, I used to put my cell on there before I knew better.
I just always keep my cell on there, but I definitely get what you're saying. And I think a lot of times, a lot of positions I'll be applying for, they're submitting people to bid, so I think they want to get at me quick because they're behind and they're trying to get somebody's name on a bid. Because a lot of times I bid on stuff they said employment upon proposal win or something. So
and
also it doesn't.
If they want your cell phone number, they're going to get it. And a lot of times, some of them will have their own application portal where you'll upload your resume and then enter your phone number in a designated spot. Mm-hmm. So for it to actually be on the resume itself, there's no reason.
Yeah, and at least the summary here doesn't look all AI generated. Known for crisp SOPs, dependable incident triage.
Okay. Lightweight automation. I guess I would kind of drill down more into a specialty in there. Because I don't know if they're doing vulnerability management or policies and procedures or automation.
Yeah, it really comes off that they've been more focused on paperwork than anything else. Access governance and audit ready documentation. I'm
cool with paperwork. I just need a little more. That's all I do. I don't even touch computers anymore.
Yeah, looking at the summary, you can't really say what they actually focus on, what their specialty is. Especially now in this job market, I think you need to. B-Dub's favorite word. I think you need to tailor your resume to the position. Like if they're doing an auditing position, change it to maybe a little more auditing. Even if you don't have auditing, talk about your projects where you simulated auditing maybe. Now, this is a 1-page at least. What about the certifications? We do also see this section here where they're saying in progress. We talked about that, I think, last month.
Yeah, I actually like the format of the certifications. I've not seen it put that way, but I do have a comment on that. I still wouldn't put, even if they don't have specific rules against it, I wouldn't put any in progress certifications on a resume, personally, because, I mean, you could be getting it tomorrow, but you could also be getting it next year and then plans change and you don't get it. You just never know. I also don't think that the cybersecurity or the ISC2CC is necessary when you have the Security Plus. I don't think the ISC squared CC certification, the certified in cybersecurity, I don't think that's necessary when you already have the Security Plus.
The only reason I can see listing the CC still is just because that also kind of shows that you're a member there too.
Yeah. Especially, I guess, if they have, like, I see they're working on their CGRC. So if the job is requesting other IC squared certifications, I guess it might be helpful. I don't personally know.
I do feel that it's kind of backwards though. Like they should probably
Yeah.
have the Sec Plus, the Network, the A Plus, the CC, and then
I
the
would have that.
Google.
I would have that
certificate.
Security Plus first. It's going to be your top.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole in progress things are kind of I don't really like it.
I know B-Dub's talking me out
PBO's
of
been
it.
in progress for years.
I took it off because B-Dub was beating me about the head, man. I took it off, man. So
Well, I mean, you say it's in progress, but it's been in progress for years, and you haven't taken that test yet.
now
Still waiting on that pass.
I feel personally attacked.
You should.
No,
Stop
it's fine.
procrastinating.
That's why I took it off. No, that was a good point. So PBO, he was listening. So now I took that out.
Yeah, and ISC squared has strong rules about that. So
Yeah.
I'm mostly familiar with the CISSP. I don't know. I'm sure they have the same rules on that CGRC as far as listing it in progress.
A lot of times I did it because I just want to kind of let me slide past the scanner. Then I think my lovely personality would win me the job.
Oh, I know why you do it, PBO.
But I get where you're coming from, though. I get where you're coming from.
Well, and then also Rania, I think, is looking at the bulletin points already, talking about shifting from activity and impact. It's focusing on the responsibilities and not as much on the activity and the impact made.
So
Here, I can probably zoom in a little bit more for you, PVO. No, that's actually as big as I can see.
No, I can actually see that. That's pretty.
Well, I think that also relates with the summary maybe too, kind of to PBO's point initially of like making sure like what did you do with the access governance and audit ready documentation, like maybe showing results of that versus just this is what I did versus this is what it did, So.
Yeah,
I do like that certification. I might switch mine up, even though I don't have a lot of certs yet.
Yeah,
I do like that. I say, okay, that's different.
Yeah, especially for someone who has a lot of certifications that ends up taking a bunch of lines and you have a bunch of blank space on the right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think Rhonda's that's that STAR technique, situation, task, and the R is the results, which I used to struggle with from a GRC perspective. So I try to add that in there.
She adds on that anyone can say what they did. What stands out is showing the difference it made. Yeah. Being able to show like what was the actual value add that you provided? What were the results that you received?
I need to go kind of tighten my resume up. Yeah, like you said,
People getting nervous over here.
No, I never get nervous. But the thing too is from an auditing standpoint, did you get SOC 2 approval? Did you get FSMA approval? Did you pass because usually when you audit internally, that's because you're getting ready for external. Did you pass the external? Like R Square Prime said is what value did you add? Did you lead the team? Did you do some policies? Did you pass? Did you do some mitigating controls? Just kind of talk about the security and GRC process. And like you said, your value add to that process.
Yeah, and that seems like a lot. Like, I understand that's the most recent role. It looks like until July of this year. But yeah, that's a lot of information there. Jasmine also mentions the resume format's completely different in Europe. Most of the info goes at the on the cover letter in Europe. Employers also prefer the resume to be on one page, one-sided. Yeah, B-Dubs is a huge advocate for one-page resumes.
Well, and if a lot of that information goes on the cover page, then it'd be really easy to have a one-pager.
Maybe.
Even for PBO.
Facts. I need to start doing a cover letter. I'm like anti-cover letter, but This job
Only
market.
do a cover letter if they request it, because they may
it's
not
just
read
like
it.
it's just like we've also heard like Canada even does things differently too. So yeah. And then the next one there is network monitoring operator. So watched over a global enterprise network in a 24/7 knock. Read logs and diagrams, read logs and diagrams, spotted issues early, and engaged vendors.
So I would talk about how quickly you closed them. I know you shouldn't do it, but since the job is passed, I would actually, is it Cisco? Is it Palo Alto? What are you looking at? Because
That's
that
what I was going to
matters.
mention is what
That
software are you working
Yeah.
with?
And you can put it at high level. You can say Cisco. You don't have to get it down to the actual module with the serial number. But especially, I think when they're running a scanner, people want to know what technology you're using. Because if you're using the same technology they're using, right, that kind of bumps you up on the list. Then two is I would put
Well, and then also it looks like they're bilingual. So the second bulletin point says created bilingual SOPs. That's something I would list at the top of the resume.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I would talk about troubleshooting and document incident and care. Is that a run book? Those are the official jargons, people. Did you have a run book? Did you automate the run book? What did you use to automate that run book? Right, to handle those incidents. Like in AWS, you could put them on another tenant. You block off the subnet. You lock it down and get ready for the MSRP people to come in and get ready. So what did you kind of elaborate on that a little more? But two is it depends kind of what job you're going for too.
So I want to point out something in the projects section under additional details, which I would almost think that additional details should say projects and not additional details. But that being said, since this is redacted, I don't know for sure how they have it laid out, but it says GitHub link here. So if they are like leaving that and linking the word here rather than putting the link, I would recommend actually putting the full link, because they may not be able to, or they may not want to just click a word that's linked. They may want to have that full link visible, if that makes sense what I just said. But
perfect sense. That was
they could have, since this is redacted, they could have just put that there for us. But since the word is capitalized, it makes me think that that word may be linked.
Me too. I was making that assumption, but that could be a bad assumption. I assume that was the link to actually go there.
Yeah. So, I mean, have it linked, but I would spell out the full link on your resume. And that goes for your LinkedIn profile or any link that you put on your resume. Just in general, I wanted to call that out.
I got a question to the panel. Should we put our YouTube channel on there?
If you have a reason to.
I think it depends.
If you're PBO, yes.
Yeah, I mean, look at PBO with 830 plus videos over the last 5 years.
Well, let me, I guess, put some context on that. If you had a technology-centric YouTube for that particular job that you were going for.
I think if it's relevant.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would provide
relevant to the position.
Yeah, I would provide details with that, like put it in your projects or whatever, and provide details of different videos that you have that relate to or how it applies to that position that you're wanting to get.
Okay. I'm lazy. I'm thinking I'm PBO. You should automatically know what I'm doing. But I need to tighten that up, though. Man, I just like, here you go.
He's got a one-page resume.
Yeah, PBO is just going in with a resume that just says PBO in gigantic letters. And then he's like, don't you know who I am?
Yeah, I need to tighten up on that. I've gotten away with that, but in this job market, I don't think I could get away with that. I usually just, because in the old days, I just said I got enough experience. I just need to get in the interview, right? So, but I think now with the ATS systems, it's hard to even get in the interview and get in the queue now. So It's a different
Yeah.
ballgame.
So at the top of your profile at the top of your resume where you put your LinkedIn profile, I would not put your YouTube channel there. I would put it under your projects and that way you can provide additional details about it. I wouldn't just say, "Hey, this is PBO. Here's my LinkedIn. Here's my YouTube channel.
No, I'm
Go
not doing
check it
that.
out."
The thing is, and you got me thinking, I don't even have my LinkedIn in there. Most people ask for it in a section. If they ask for it, I put it in LinkedIn. And now they have like a website. So on the website, I put my YouTube channel. So
That's what I've done too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a place
Yeah,
like
and
that in a portal, then absolutely. But resume specifically, I wouldn't just list it at the top. I would only list if you have a GitHub, you could put it at the top. But still, it looks better in projects where you can list details about it.
Do y'all recommend
I would
GitHub?
definitely change that additional details out for projects and labs, though.
Yeah,
Like that's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
Y'all like GitHubs? I never thought about doing a GitHub.
More
For
and more
technical
people are doing it.
positions. I mean GRC too, but I see it more with technical positions.
Me too.
Yeah, like I've seen quite a few of them where like they'll go through and they'll make policy templates, or they'll go through and do mock audits and so forth, and provide them through GitHub. So because on GitHub you could just click on the in the repo there, and it's all organized and so forth. But yeah, it is going to depend. Like a recruiter may not even want to try that.
Yeah, I never thought about doing a mock audit on GitHub.
Well, and it's a little off topic, but also now GitHub's going to be completely governed by Microsoft now, not just a shareholder.
Shout out to the evil empire.
Yeah, the CEO stepped down, so now Microsoft's taking their fair share.
Yeah, in those projects, they definitely need a lot more details of what you did, what you learned,
Thanks.
what problems you solved, just like Rhonda says. There's a lot more depth you could go in there.
Facts. I don't know if we should put high school degrees on there in education. I would just leave that off probably.
Yeah, I would leave it off. You don't need a high school diploma. We've talked about that one before.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of assumed, really.
Facts.
I just
know, though.
signed off from the last review last month because I had it on there forever. Because I don't have continuing like formal education beyond that aside from certificates or courses and taken. But I was like, yeah, they can see the gray hair on the side of my head. They probably assume that's long gone anyway. So yeah.
I took my graduation dates off and my calls went way up when I was looking for a job.
Now, if it's like an internship for a college student or something, and they, specifically require a high school diploma or whatever on the job itself, then you could add it. But yeah, for a regular whatever position, I wouldn't include it.
Thanks. I don't know. I just think we have. But now, they're asking for a master's degree for entry-level work. Now it's getting crazy out there, man. You need 5 years experience for entry-level. Like, I don't think that's entry-level, but.
Oh, no, you just need the CISSP.
Facts. Which
and so.
Which I don't have ongoing anymore.
Slacking. PBO slacking now. All right, now let's see if I can swap this over without breaking everything entirely. I'm probably going to break the whole thing.
You see Draper's question? My bad, Chris.
Yeah. If I took a virtual internship, how would I display what I learned on my resume? Just list under skills?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you could. I don't know what a virtual internship is, other than it maybe being a remote position. That's an internship, is my assumption. And if that's the case, then you could just list it in your experience section as an internship.
Yeah. That's what I would do. If it's an internship to me is a job, so I would just list it in there, the time you had, and then what you learned, and what tools you did, and how did you add value. I mean, it could be anything. I just did policies and procedure documentation,
Yeah, it's
coordinated.
a remote role.
Yeah, coordinated meetings is huge. So whatever you did, I would just kind of put
Yeah,
that in there.
for sure use that STAR method when you're
Facts.
listing those.
Facts.
I already don't like this resume.
Yeah, something about it. Something about it just throwing me out.
I mean, I thought it was going to be the best one of the night.
I bet you did. Why is everything? I don't know what's up with these bullets.
And to provide a little bit more context to, so this is 2 pages in length. This particular individual stated that they're currently applying to help desk positions. But they've taken a couple different courses or otherwise on GRC related topics. And that's what they're more so trying to go towards. I have no idea. So also like the second page throughout, the entire thing is like that. So it's all just a bunch of bulletin points and so forth. Very not standard, of course. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that what they did is they just, to redact the resume, they just deleted the whole header that they did have at one time. Oh, wait, this is different. Jesus.
What do you have going on over there?
I have no idea. Here, let me.
Yeah, you don't switch to a whole new resume.
Check it out. There's that YouTube at the top.
Yeah.
And the LinkedIn. Shout out to the link.
Here, there we go. Here we go. 5 pages.
What is this?
This is the next resume.
Okay, so they took out the header to redact it.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Is the only thing I can think of with this one in particular is that they just deleted the whole header to redact. I hope that's the case. I don't know.
I really hope that doing so messed up their formatting. Because
That's the formatting.
Because I don't know why everything has a bullet.
This is strange. What jobs are they trying to get with this, Chris? Did they say?
So they're currently applying to help desk roles, but they're trying to get into the GRC side, like audit.
Well, I'm confused because system network administrator is way higher than help desk.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the job market because I believe they also stated that like they've been applying to positions and nothing's coming.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy out there. It's people talking about they've sent out 400 resumes and never got a reply. So I can. I think Draper's snitching on himself.
If you delete the header out, I think it does drop it to all bullet points like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So we don't have to beat up the
Well, it's not over yet. So this is 5 pages. Yeah, this is 5 pages in length, and yeah, it is way too much information. Like this doesn't even look like it aligns with federal. Like there's all of these gaps here, a lot of formatting problems. The bulletin points are just way too lengthy for the majority here.
Well, and there's different font sizes between pages too. So the first thing that I would do on this resume, if it was mine, is go through and standardize the formatting. Like just highlight the whole thing and make it regular text and start over. Get rid of the bullet point. Turn bullets off. You can turn them back on. And just start over on the formatting.
Yeah, I would just start completely over from ground zero.
Yeah.
Like this first page is just one role in particular. Like that is just way too much. So I would try to narrow that down. Like 4 to 6 bulletin points is fine, but
and it's double space between paragraphs, but it's also there's a lot of spacing between the lines too. So with all of that and the big margins, you're wasting a lot of prime real estate.
especially if this is the resume you get for like a help desk role, like they're probably going to think you're way too expensive or like nothing.
To be honest, I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire this person for a help desk role. To me, they're
Yeah.
overqualified. I would think they would leave. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
do a help, I would take a lot of this out. I would ratchet it down a little bit.
Align it to the help desk role.
I like that, B-dubs. That's better language.
Yeah, tailor it to
Facts,
the help desk
Taylor.
role.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's because to me, I would think as soon as you found something else, you would leave. Because I would go to help desk, and I was, network administrators I thought were hot out there. So you got my favorite thing. I love this is Stigs because I'm a Stig guy. So
Question on that. Question on that overqualified part. So, like for instance, help desk, right? My assumption is that's an industry where people understand or know that there is like a high turnover as far as like, do people stay in help desk for 5-10 years? Or I don't know if that would be as far as it being a detraction from your point of view.
No, I hear what you said. I guess if you're tier 3, a lot of times guys might stay longer because it's a specialty, but even there, because most help desk guys trying to become system and network administrators. That's the natural pivot to go up the chain for that.
Also, Rhonda says the same thing on the bulletin points. Like the whole resume is bulletin points. Like I would start completely from scratch and redo it. And then I would, even with all of this experience, like, yeah, you could definitely tailor a one or two page resume for help desk alone. They have previous help desk experience that they could really leverage on that. But yeah, like this should probably like fit into no more than 2 pages.
Well, and you take your most recent experience and you do a max of 6 bullets and you use the STAR method, you put metrics in there. And then after that, your older experiences, you decrease the bullets in each one. So if your first one has 6, then you go down to 4. Where if you have a lot of experience, your oldest may have 2, but you're not listing out your job role responsibilities. This isn't the my mind's blanking, but you're sharing your achievements, not what you did in your day-to-day. So it doesn't need that many bullets. And you take your biggest accomplishments and you share those.
Chris, go back to the
I even think like per job, there's so much like experience in here that I almost think like per job description you're applying for, you could almost build it based on whatever their bullet points are, whatever their job description points are. Like just highlight how you have done those specific things within your work experience.
Well, and for a master resume, then absolutely put 10 bullets or however many bullets you have in there. And then when you're tailoring it, take out the bullets that don't apply to the job that you're applying to. But then you have that master, you make a copy of it and you tailor it, and you don't have to sit there and think of bullets that align. You already have them.
I need to do more of that. 2 is those are big certs, the AWS DevOps and
in progress
and architect professionals. I think you need 5 years for both of those.
Says in progress, PBO.
I know, but to study for them, you got to have the experience to sit for those. I believe. I thought those were 5.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but they do also have the bachelor's degree for cloud computing.
Yeah.
So from WGU, and then they have all of this other potentially related experience too.
So I guess my question is, and I think maybe you touched on it, is why go for help desk when you've been a system admin? It's just the job market so hot that because you got DoD standards, you got Active Directory, you got the whole RMF process, you got tier 1 and tier 3.
I would say that it would probably be job market, to be honest, because it's kind of hard to narrow down on just one role these days, it seems.
And what I would do in this situation is you have a resume for system and network administrator, and then you have another resume for help desk.
Nice.
that are tailored to each type of role. And then you're not cutting yourself out. If you find that, sysadmin role, you can throw the resume out there.
And then also, William, I dropped this in chat too for the Coffee with the Mafia. I highly recommend, like, if you wanted to, you can go through and schedule with that. Absolute $0. Anybody can. And you could put in there, like, need assistance, with my resume. You can upload your new resume to like Google Docs or otherwise would be ideal. And then you could share it with a link for suggestions only kind of thing.
Facts.
So to get some assistance with that as well.
And he's got Cisco, the big dog down there. So he's got all, but I agree with him, job market. I was just saying if I could get an interview, I couldn't even get an interview. So the job market out there is brutal. So I definitely, I guess.
I mean,
do you have a
really
security
difficult.
clearance? Working at DOD, sound like he's at a DOD spot. If you had a security clearance, even if it's public trust, I would put it on there because a lot of jobs are
at the top.
Yeah, because I need to put mine on there. I got the IRS
instant revoked.
Facts. So yeah, if I would put that on there.
Yeah, and then I'll swap over to the last one here, maybe. Or maybe that's the first one.
That's the first one, I thought.
I'll get to it eventually. Yeah, here we are. So now this is the third resume now, the last one that we have lined out, and then we'll go into Cam's interview here and see if he gets the job or not.
Cam's hiring. His intro was so good, I'm hiring. Go ahead.
Oh, God.
I already hired.
Yeah, just start with your intro.
The intro was excellent, but go ahead.
Yeah, and Rhonda says, think of each job as a different audience. Highlight the parts of your story that they care about the most. I think that's the most important mindset to have, especially when you're crafting a resume, because if they lose interest off the bat, then you're done. You have to show your value. Like, why would they even want to spend their time interviewing you or anything? Especially with I've been hearing tons of people who are going through multiple stages now. Like back in my day, it was, you walk in with a paper resume and you're hired that day.
Well, if they extend that job offer to you, they're going to be paying you money. It's costing them something. So they want to see that ROI. What are they paying for if they hire you? And you have to show that in your resume. And
also he does have a clearance. So it should be significantly easier with a clearance.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Are you looking for remote work will be my next thing, or are you going to somebody's office? Obviously, if you go in somebody's office, you cut out a lot of competition because that remote work is brutal out there. I was looking at one today. I think it was 4 days old, 200 people applied. I was like, oh, God. Some of those might be bot. I think Chris mentioned he thought some of those were bots in the past. But
yeah, David's be popping in. Back in my day, I had to walk both ways to school uphill in the snow.
Facts.
On this one, I would go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say it's just crazy to think about because it just seems like more recent times, like probably in the last 5 years or so, it just seems like the interviewing process has changed dramatically.
It did. We're in a recession.
So, true.
Tech's in a recession, man. I think they said 250,000 people got laid off in the last year and a half. So, I mean, I'd
be surprised if that was it, to be honest.
It might be a little higher, but it was some crazy amount. Then the Fed's getting cut in half. So it's a lot of talented people out there.
Oh, Rhonda, I was shocked I had one brutal panel interview and got the job. I thought I totally blew it. So not all interviews are multiple. Very true.
Oh, facts, man. Sometimes just surviving. I told a story when I interviewed with AWS. I had a 6-hour interview, 2 teams members every 50 minutes. Then I had to talk to the evangelist. I just think they was just trying to whittle you down to nothing.
I think the summary on this one is kind of lengthy.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So not only should it just be one paragraph, but there's that extra white space below it too, before the professional experience.
Facts.
Because that makes the professional summary almost take up. I mean, time you add in the heading, you're like what, a third of the page right there.
Facts. The other thing, I would take 15 down to 10. I was getting a little ageism. I thought 20 sound cool, but I didn't get any calls, so I cut it down to 10. My calls went up. So you might want to take your 15 down to 10. I don't know how old you are. I'm almost 60, so I tell people I'm up there. I'm almost done. So
yeah, it's an unfortunate fact.
not unfortunate.
So
I mean, over 10 it's saying the same thing as over 15.
I think 15 saying you're gonna be pulling on our insurance. That's what I read.
But exactly.
I could
PBO making up 80% of the cost of the insurance. He's the 20%.
PBO A1C's kind of high. You gotta lose a little weight. A1C's up. So but I was seriously, because I had 20 when I took mine down to 10 and took my graduate dates off of my bachelor's and MBA. My calls went way up. So just throw that out there.
Yeah, and with this role here, I'm
only gonna dox myself because you put me in the same age group, but this is my resume, PBO. So rip it. Go for it.
So, whoa! I will cut it down.
Also, I would go through.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think that summary needs to be condensed down. Like, you could take some of the different words out. Like, you could lead off of a sentence with the skilled experience. You could change that around a little bit and be like leading cross-functional teams mixed in with that first sentence, just to cut some of the words down. But yeah, that just seems like a lot of information off the bat.
And I will put some results in there. 10% effective rate, cut down our findings, passed an audit, I am the king. I will put some
shout out to me.
Yeah, shout out to me. So I'll put some results in there. And to be honest, I'm working on my resume still with that STAR technique. Once again, when I went to AWS, and they were really big on the STAR technique. So,
Cam, I just got brand new opinions.
Oh.
After you doxed yourself.
This is the spot to share them. No, I mean, like, I already was taking away or putting down notes from what Rhonda was mentioning yourself, B-dubs, just as far as like what you guys were just saying, as far as making sure that these are like, make it say something, not just having a bunch of information.
So, another picky thing I'm gonna call out here is that first professional experience you have like bolded at the beginning, and the second one you do not. But also in that top one, the operations management, you have a dash and the others have a colon. And then the bullets are
indent is rough.
Yeah. The whole bullet point should be indented. And not the way it is right now.
I would take the title section, the bolded sections out, to be honest, and then just take that indent.
Yeah.
So like that first one would just right off the bat say business planning, customer communications, daily technician. But you could also change that around a little bit and be like, you can actually state like how many, scheduling did you do every week, or how many accounts did you manage?
Right. Use that STAR method.
You can, and also it sounds like with that first one, with the operations factor, like that's sounding a little bit like third-party risk management potentials.
Yeah, I would expand on that.
Yeah, I was really curious on y'all's take on that. Well, all of it, but that part specifically, because it's the first time I've had a role, like I'm doing multiple things, right? It's not just like one company, one role type of deal. Like I wanted to include, and that was my curiosity was like on that maybe like continuing education side of that. Should that be in a different? I mean, that's what I'm doing on a daily basis right now, but like, should it be under a different? Should it be under professional experience or no? Or how that all breaks out.
Is that for a different client or at the same company?
So the first two bullet points are for separate companies. And then the third is just education I'm doing on my own. So.
Yeah, I would take that out there. Because to me, you kind of blend in work with your ed. So I would split that out. I don't know, what's your thoughts on that, B-Dub? I wouldn't blend those two.
Yeah, I think it could be broken up. I think it could even be put into your project section if worded properly, especially knowing what you're learning and how you're learning it. I think that there's another way you could go about that rather than putting it in your professional experience.
I think one option would be to change the title a little bit. You could do like freelance administrative and consult work or otherwise. And then you could just list out like contract 1, contract 2, because that's what it really seems like is contract work. I think that would make it really clean. And then you just give a very brief, like what you helped out with on that particular contract. I would not put continuing education under that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And I really love Ranya's call out here. How many times have we said to be consistent with format? Come on, Cam.
Very true. It's very
That's
true.
why my opinion changed when you doxed yourself. It's like, oh man.
And then you do have some metric, or at least 2 metrics in the second part.
Yeah.
Well, technically 3.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
Counts for something.
Yeah. Did you do back at the top on the AI? Are you doing risk assessments for AI or reviews for AI on the second bullet point?
It's like it's either model or system auditing. So it's assessments of the models or the systems themselves. There is some risk assessment within it too.
So y'all will flesh that out a little more. Is it a
Yeah.
financial model? Is it operational model? Kind of what model is it, I guess?
Okay.
Well,
Let's make
and
more detail there.
Yeah.
and back to the title too. I think you're doing a little bit more than just an administrative specialist.
Yeah, I don't like your title. Facts.
Yeah, the title could be better. I think if you fix some of the formatting, you reorganized it a little bit, especially on that second role, you could probably condense that down a little bit, and then you can add like projects and continuing education at the bottom.
Yeah.
Another thing, Cam,
Oh,
your service manager and department lead is in all caps, whereas your current experience is, come on, consistency.
Facts.
Hey, B, you're up on stage.
Shout out to Luke.
All right. Well, are you guys ready for the interview then?
Yeah, let's
I'm ready
go.
for this one, especially after this resume.
Yeah.
You ready, PBO?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and change things around a little bit here. We'll be back in just a brief moment.
Do you love cybersecurity and GRC? Do you like analogies stretched further than my hairline? Then do I have a channel for you? Hi, my name is Cameron, also known as Cam, and I want to invite you to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cam Goddess, where I dive into various topics, frameworks, terms, and foundational knowledge within the broad categories of cybersecurity and GRC. I'm passionate about these things and about taking complex concepts and making them more easily understandable, more easily defined. Everyone is a nerd about something, so come, nerd, learn, and grow with me.
Want to actually learn cloud security? And I mean, not just pass the test, but actually learn how to defend and attack real environments? Cyber's one-click labs let you exploit real AWS Lambda functions, escalate IAM privileges, and respond to incidents in live environments. You'll learn how to securely configure cloud resources, create your own custom incident response playbooks, and learn how to pen test cloud infrastructure to find real vulnerabilities before attackers do. Visit cyber.com to join thousands of cloud security practitioners and a growing community, and start your first hands-on lab for free today. Or use coupon code StudyGRC for 10% off our premium memberships. That's cybr.com.
All right. Thank you for coming back from our ad break there for a moment. So now we're going to go into our next segment here, which is going to be a first ever that we've ever done, especially during a live stream, where Cam has volunteered to be the interviewee and then PBO is going to be the interviewer. Of course, this is just for demonstration purposes only, just providing insights and so forth, and just to show an example is what it really comes down to. So definitely looking for more volunteers for this. This may turn into something that we put into the Discord server directly, like as a monthly event or otherwise. We're just going to play it out as we go and so forth. And the whole point, like I said, is to add value. So let me go ahead and pull them up on the stage here. Welcome to the parties, pal. And also, if you guys have any feedback throughout, you guys can also drop that into chat as well. Did you need to pull up a screen or anything like that, PBO?
No, I got the no, I'm good. I don't know if you want to pull up the job description while we go through it, or
I can pull that
send me
up.
a job description and the curriculum vitae I have, so we can.
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I think we should pull up the job description so we can kind of nail down what we're talking about and what the interview will be about. Like I said, I was kind of perusing it since you didn't give me any details, young man.
Hey, I mentioned something.
You gave me something. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need much.
All right, there we go.
So this is the first one you see at the top: cybersecurity, governance, risk, and compliance. It looks like a mid-level job. If he scrolls down, he talked a little bit about NIST, HIPAA, and some of the big dogs down there: CMMC, PCI DSS. I don't know how much background Cam's got on that, but we could just get our toe wet in there. So the standard thing is, you know, how people get started. Can you give me a high level about your background and why you think this position is for you?
Yes, so I've been outside of the tech industry for a while, and recently gotten interested in GRC and education that way, and some hands-on experience as I've been able to with GRC frameworks and auditing specifically. And I think that I'd be a good opportunity, or a good person for this opportunity, based on kind of some of the hands-on practice that I've been doing, and the kind of the details in this job description for what this position entails. I'm super passionate about all things GRC, about specifically the compliance and kind of that risk management side of things, and eager to apply those trades.
Are you pushing for any specific compliance, NIST, HIPAA, FedRAMP? Are you drilling down to any of those specific? I know you said you were pivoting over. I don't know if you were trying to specialize in any one of those yet.
Yes, so I have a little bit of NIST experience, probably primarily so. A little bit of exposure with high trust, and a very, very foundational level with ISO as well. I think NIST is probably something I'm more familiar with, just having spent time researching and kind of educating myself with that framework.
Are you an 800 or a CSF guy? That's a very important question for me. Are you an 800 or a CSF guy?
I'm an 800 guy. I one gentleman that I respected referred to it as the big dog, so I took that as a challenge and dove into the 800 and 853 specifically. So I do appreciate the CSF as far as its ease of implementation, right, and kind of being able to match it to different business size.
So are you focusing on any of the 20 families yet? Did you, in your study, have you, I guess, created some policies and procedures to kind of become acclimated to the whole security framework of NIST? So can you drill down on that?
Yes. So I actually spent a bit of time kind of researching or studying each of the control families in the 53 B specifically, and had created some content just kind of giving overviews of those different control families, as well as kind of practice and hands-on experience on my own side of things for what those policies would look like, what the procedures and standards would look like as reflected or mapped to those control families.
That's fine. Have you touched on the technology side, meaning the CIS benchmarks or the STIG benchmarks or the schisms? Are you familiar with any of those particular hardening compliances?
Yes. So I'm foundationally familiar with STIGs and also with the CIS benchmarks as well. that's definitely an area of continued growth and education for myself, for the technology and the hardening side of it specifically.
Have you applied any of them yet, or you just still kind of reviewing them from a higher level?
I'm reviewing them from a higher level currently. Yes.
That's about. We know everything's going in the cloud. Give me a little bit about your cloud background, because we on-prem and in the cloud, so I think there's a big push for the cloud. So can you give me your cloud background?
Yes, so that's definitely something that's more of a weak point for myself, something that I'm growing in, for the cloud. I've just recently started doing some courses through the AWS training for cloud security and cloud computing, to understand that whole environment better for myself, and then applying the security principles and the foundation that I have learned, and how that implements in the cloud specifically.
No, that's perfect from a NIST standpoint in the cloud. From a risk assessment, because you see, bullet point number one, we talked about risk assessment. Have you ever walked through a initial risk assessment? If we bring in some software in and it's actually in AWS, can you kind of walk me through what that would look like?
As far as what that risk assessment would look like, you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that I've done some things like that previously for risk assessments, kind of evaluating, both starting with the documentation and what that software states about itself, as well as policies and procedures and standards that we would have in place as an organization that would map within. I immediately think of the SA control family within NIST 853, and some of the controls within that family, kind of mapping and leading the way within that risk assessment. I haven't personally done that hands-on, but that's where I would start personally.
No, that's a perfect good answer. We know, you're gonna have strengths and weaknesses, so that was definitely an appropriate answer. The other thing is, how would you handle difficult customers? Sometimes we have assessments, even internal, external. Can you give me a background when you have a difficult customer, or internal, external, and how you would handle it?
Yes. Yep. That's something that I actually probably have more experience with than even some of the technical side of things. So I've encountered, in a previous job I had, oversight of an entire service department, and the service department is a place where everybody goes to complain, and there's always issues and confrontations presented. So one thing I like to do, if we're talking to a customer, is I always want to make sure that that customer is heard. So I've had a situation in the past where there was an upset customer or client, and I wanted to make sure that before I got into any sort of solution, that was something that I addressed, was to make sure that I understood the whole of what their issue was. And then looking also for ways that, as far as like what a solution would look like on their end, and then kind of combining that with what it would look like as far as what I could present. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No,
first and foremost, hearing them out, and then trying to find a common ground, agreement, or solution rather.
no, that's an excellent answer. There's always going to be some challenging slash difficult people.
Yes.
So since 2025 is coming to the end, what are you trying, I guess, learn or level up for the end of 2025? What's on your plate?
So currently on my plate is three things primarily. One, I'm coming to the end of some extended Security Plus training, and I hope to be able to take that exam within the next month or so. I've been diving into kind of AI governance, as that gets involved into a lot of systems, whether it's systems being acquired or implemented directly within an organization. And then, as I mentioned, starting to get both feet in, for AWS and cloud security specifically. So those are the three things that I'm primarily focusing on for growth for myself, as we reach the end of the year.
Are you an AWS, Azure, or a Google guy?
I
Which one of
found
those clouds
myself
you want to focus?
drawn more towards AWS. I think that there's a lot of I see in a lot of different roles that I would want to work towards those things being requested, and that cloud service being the main driver there.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself continuing to learn, always learning, always continued growth. I see myself heavily invested in governance and compliance areas for an organization, and kind of continuing that learning mindset within those things as the compliance changes year to year. But in 5 years, I'd like to see myself in a position where I have good autonomy over that type of role.
No, that makes perfect sense. What are your certifications and educational goals at the end? I know you said you was getting your cert, so what's kind of your tracking there, trying to get
Oh,
accomplished?
for the education side of things.
Yep,
Yeah.
education,
So
certifications.
yep. So my goal there is, I haven't found I'll say an AI specific certification that I've really latched onto as of yet for security or for governance, but security plus for sure. And specifically on some of those networking things that I want to have a good foundation of. And then for the cloud side of it, the cloud practitioner and some of those initial certs are kind of next, or first and foremost for me.
Yeah, on AI train, kind of what's your vision of AI? You think it's a plus or positive? You think it's gonna hurt the industry or help the industry? And from a red team, blue team, what's your thoughts on AI?
Yeah, so I would say on a bird's eye view or high level view, AI, like a lot of technology, is going to be based on how we use it. As far as, I think it has propensity for good, I think it has a lot of propensity for bad. I think from a security mindset, you focus more on the propensity for bad, right? There's benefits with it, but I think if you're going to be in security, that you kind of have to weigh it at least 60-40 towards the bad, if not more, just to have that mindset. I think on the red team, blue team, I've seen and kind of kept track of a lot of people that are doing red teaming with AI, and I think that's showing a lot to people that want to hear, as far as its vulnerabilities and its risk that are inherently tied to that as a system, or as a operating mechanism. And then on the blue team side of it, I think it's very important for all organizations. I think especially by the end of 2025, there's going to be very few, if any, organizations that don't touch AI at least a little bit. And I think that's going to become paramount to have blue teaming and measures in place where we're not just leaving it up to somebody else to announce that there's some sort of fault or risk, but that it's something that we're managing and monitoring as we can, and whether that be a service that's provided or something done in-house.
No, that makes perfect sense. Give me something that you would consider a weakness about yourself.
A weakness about myself, I think, is sometimes I'm not the best at making sure that I have those finite details in place. I'm definitely more of a big picture, kind of what are we trying to do type of person, and I've really been working on myself lately to make sure that all the little steps are right along the way. So making sure that the minor details are accounted for and are cleaned up.
No, that's perfect. What's your strengths in the GRC perspective? What you think? Policy, plans, procedures, mitigation control. What would you consider your strengths in the GRC realm?
I think in the GRC realm, my strength would lie in policies, and then the procedure side as well. My background, while not in technology, is based around those types of principles, both in creation of policy. I come from kind of a construction background, so a lot of things that we talked about in that industry about safety kind of correlate to security. So you come up with the policies and then those implementations, those procedures. And I think procedures specifically might be a strength, just because I like to try to come up with procedures and implement procedures that people will actually that are clear, that people will actually want to follow.
Oh, that's perfect. I think currently that's all the questions I have. Did you have any questions for me in the job descriptions here you want to ask?
I know some of I do. Some of the positions or the responsibilities mentioned. I guess I would like to ask: is it something that you see as an actual entry role, or is it something that that you'd be looking at? Maybe more that mid tier or mid management role, and then kind of tied to that, how much of this role do you see as more of a management role versus a highly technical one?
No, those are good questions. I think it's a medium role, but I need to get with the CIO, Chris. I don't know what it was. You have any other questions for me? That was all I had.
No. Yeah,
I appreciate it. Let's see if the chat got any questions they thought I missed. I just try to hit the standard thing, and I try to hit him a little bit with the little throw punch. What's your weakness? Cam, you got to hit that.
I have a list.
You got to study a little bit on that, Cam. You got to be ready for that. You got to have that in your pocket.
You have a list?
I'll point out,
I have another list.
Yeah, we have lists upon lists here for you, Cam. I think this is awesome.
Good.
How do you feel about it, Cam? You're like, breathe. One of the things I was going to mention is PBO had asked you. Oh, yeah. And that's what it's all about, is just adding the value to it. One of the questions PBO asked was regarding your cloud experience. What kind of cloud experience do you have? And I didn't see it in this job description, at least. But you kind of left it a little bit vague. And so I would have tried to run with that aspect and been like, I'm particularly interested in AWS. I've looked at some of the different certifications there. I played around in the panel, or I've done this and that, and provide like maybe some projects that you've maybe done in comparison to that. Ideally what they list.
I thought it was good, Chris, because if you go down that road, I'm going to take you there. Be very careful.
I'm just saying, provide some context.
I did intentionally leave it vague.
Yeah, no, I
was like, he's going to push me there. But
for me, I thought it was excellent because I know Cam's background. If you go down there and say Cam has keys, I'm going to start talking FIS 140-3. Be careful. I thought for Cam's background, go ahead, Chris. I thought he hit it.
Oh, you're good. And for the certs roadmap, he asked like what your plans are for the future. You mentioned some certifications. I feel like you had an advantage there because you did mention Sec Plus like halfway through that speech. It was kind of a run on a little bit for like a little over a minute. And it wasn't until like over halfway through did you even mention the Sec Plus. I would have led with that and said, hey, yeah, I've been currently studying, throughout the week, for the last, month for the Sec Plus. I'm planning to take it on this date. And then following that, I'm looking at these certifications. And this is why.
Yeah.
I think you could just refine that a little bit more, because that's probably going to be one that would be common to come up. And then I had made another note for AWS roles, but I don't remember why.
I got a question for the president, VP. Did I do okay since y'all didn't give me no background? I just did that off the top of my head.
You got all the background right here on stage, PBO.
And again, while we were talking, I put into the private chat. I'm like, damn, I'm good. I'm doing this. I said, damn, I'm good.
I think my favorite part was, I don't remember the question or what Cam said, but Cam didn't really have a strong answer for it. And PBO's response was, we know you're going to have strengths and weaknesses. It's fine. And I was like, that's like a PBO throat punch.
No, I know.
He said everybody.
That's his nice way of saying, what a terrible answer.
No. True story, B-Dubs. I was interviewing somebody, and they turned so red, they were freezing up. So I had to just try to I always say that, it's just an interview. This ain't life or death. I had somebody just turn red and just lock up. I'm like, so that's kind of.
But I mean,
yeah,
I know.
You could practice this stuff though.
Go ahead.
You can grab some of these different questions and some other common ones that you could find on the internet and practice what your responses would be.
Oh, Chris, you did it when you had Grok. Did you have Grok interviewing off the phone that one day?
Yes.
That
Yes.
was unbelievable. I'm gonna have to have Grok interview me. I thought that was, to me, I've never seen. I was in awe.
That was my backup if PBO didn't show up tonight.
That was good, man.
Okay, well, the whole AI interviewing I think is really, really great. I still need to make a dedicated video for it. It's very hard to record those sessions though, and but also like it's hard. Like, yeah, it's really difficult. And then also models like Grok, for an example, can actually pick up on your tone of voice and how fast you speak and so forth as well.
Oh, shout out to R Squared. She get that star format in there.
Yeah, align your weakness to the role so it feels relevant, then come back strong to show growth.
That's a great shout. Yeah.
I tell people I just give my standard can of answer. And they know I bullshit. I'm like, yeah, I overwork. I work too hard. Like, you bullshit, not bullshit. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. I want to interview David next. Mr. SOC 2, Type 2.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We'll just throw high trust into the AI and have Grok interview him.
I'm like, you think that that 853 CSF is good? No, come see the high trust CSF. All right, let's go talk.
High trust people think it's still hospitals. They think it's HIPAA only. Shout out to high trust though. They growing though.
Cam, great job, Cam.
Yeah,
I do want to throw something out there. I know this was like, a mock interview and it's not a real position that you were really trying to get. But in a real job interview for anybody, make sure you ask them questions. Cam only had one question, but I would come to the interview with a list of questions, and even reference it at the end when they ask you that. And I mean, it could be anything from benefits that they provide to what does the day-to-day look like. It shows your curiosity and that you're really interested. And I mean, if some of your questions get answered throughout the interview, mark them out, but make sure you get everything answered. As long as they're legitimate questions, the more questions you ask, the better, really.
One thing I like trying to ask, and the only reason I didn't ask many is because I know this all got thrown at PBO. So I was just gonna be like, I don't know. But I always like to ask too, like why, like what led to this position being open. So like either that tells you like somebody left or why somebody was let go, or maybe they're growing their business and they're kind of focusing on this specific part within their organization. So yeah, that's a great show.
That's an excellent one. Yeah, I kind of figured why you didn't ask very many questions. I just wanted to, for anyone who's...
I was going to ask him about company culture.
yeah, should.
It's violent. It's violent here. It's
violent.
Well, one of the things that I've used in the past...
First rule, don't talk about company culture.
Yeah, one of the things I've asked in the past, it was for a labor gig, but it could apply here too on getting a walkthrough. So, could I get a walkthrough of the facility? Can I see what the, work is like? So it's definitely going to depend, but it also shows a little bit of interest, or even especially on multi-stage, then you could be like, is it possible to meet the team that I would be working with to get a better idea of the job?
Yeah, I really like that walkthrough question. Of course, it's not going to apply to a virtual position or a remote role, but yeah, if you're interviewing at the office, absolutely see if you can,
People ask me a lot of times because I do second level. They tell me what's the day-to-day of a audit looks like for internal audits. That's kind of like a walkthrough of how we do things. So
PBO don't like to walk around the facility.
Facts. PBO don't like going in the office, aka remote.
Well, I mean, yeah, just asking what the day-to-day looks like is a kind of a mental walkthrough of what you would be doing, what you would be responsible for. Yeah.
I love the always ask questions. Definitely. That just shows you're engaged. Hopefully you did your research prior to. I understand that this was a mock interview, right? But just for those who are watching, trying to get any type of information something valuable from it. Definitely asking those questions. I always like to do those at the end too, where um, if brought on, what would you like to see from this position myself? You put yourself in the position, not humbly, of course, right? But what would you like to see from me in this position in 90 days, 180 days,
Yeah.
something like that. So you're already putting yourself, visually in their head that you are the one that they're going to hire. And then you also get a good answer because maybe they say, shit, we hadn't thought that far through. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Another.
that it's kind of. Oh, go ahead, Vito.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm whatever. So another really good question that I like to ask is after the interview is all done, just asking them for feedback on the interview. Is there anything that you're not sure about, on my experience? Is there any questions? You have any concerns, right? Based on this interview, worded a specific way, but because then they can give you feedback right then, whether you did really well or really bad. And maybe you could follow up with their concerns rather than leaving the call or the interview and not getting the position.
I'm gonna be a stickler. I agree with you, but I wouldn't answer that question, B-Dubs. I would not. I feel like I'm opening myself up for a lawsuit or something. I'll be like, I need to talk to legal.
Okay. Well, they're not going to specifically say, you did awesome or you did horrible. You're going to be able to read through that based on their concerns or, different. It's going to be a lot more vague. You can tell by their tone what they respond with based on how you did. Does that make sense?
It does. I don't know. I need to think. I think what you said 100% right. I just don't know if I would answer it. Would you answer that, Dave? I feel like I don't know.
What was the question?
Yeah, what was the
Yeah, following up with them and asking them, if there's anything that they are concerned about, any areas. I'm trying to remember how to word it, and I don't. Words are hard.
Do you have
right?
any concerns or questions about this job role?
No.
No.
You're asking the employer after the interview, based on your performance or whatever.
Mhm.
If there's any specific concerns they would have hiring you.
What's your biggest risk
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Wasn't that background check? Like, that could be just taken out of the equation, buddy.
what I'm saying is maybe there was some miscommunication. Maybe they don't understand something very well, and you can follow that up with, a response of some kind that clears it up.
Mhm.
I've asked that. There's a different way to ask it in my brain right now.
The only thing that I've really
like-
seen similar to that is just reaching back out to them and saying, hey, is there any areas that I can improve, or do you have any feedback for me from this interview in particular?
Something like that.
If I may, B-Dubs, I can't assume to know what you're saying there, but I think along the lines of like you're asking while it's still fresh in their minds, was there any particular question or comment I might have made that I could help clarify on that maybe, something like that where you're just basically saying, yeah, exactly. Like, I felt comfortable throughout. I just wanted to make sure that maybe if I had the opportunity to expound some more, use big words like paramount.
Right. Like don't
captain.
ask the question like B-Dubs does on YouTube. Ask it better. My brain is.
I think that's
Ask it
valid.
more better.
Ask it better.
I think it's valid to send a follow-up email a couple days later and just ask them
definitely
for feedback and if they had any additional questions.
I think you should. I just professionally, I wouldn't answer that.
So, but the benefit
God
of
damn,
doing
this
it
dude
right
ain't giving
then.
us nothing. He's like,
Well, PBOs work too close with the legal team because if they respond back and be like, oh, your tone of voice wasn't great, or oh, you mentioned you had kids.
No, I'm looking for more details of like, oh, well, I have this experience, but maybe I didn't expand on that enough in the interview, and they're worried that I'm not going to be able to handle this situation. I'm not looking at other.
They're
feedback.
thinking you're looking for a suit.
Yeah, no. I'm looking for, just like Cam's AWS. Based on the interview, it sounded like he just has a broad knowledge level of it, right? And they want him to actually go in and be able to do this task within AWS, but it wasn't brought up in the interview. So being able to clear those things out, asking questions on feedback of concerns with your experience level PBO, not legal HR stuff. And that way you can clear it up right then in the interview, and maybe you do get that follow-up versus
Also,
them
if I may add to
assuming.
that too, B-dubs, I think
Mhm.
if there was a question that you think you might not have answered correctly, or you had more to expound on, like I said earlier, if you bring a piece of paper in there, there's so many different things. Some people say bring a portfolio and you can pass them out. It depends on how the job is. I'm not going to get into all that, but definitely bring like a little piece of paper and a pen. Let them know that, hey, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a couple notes throughout. That way, at the very beginning, they know you're not just you're not just doodling to pass the time. But if you have something, maybe you can stick and scratch and come back to it and say something uh more intelligent on the backside too. So not that you're trying to just cover your tracks, but you're just like, I thought about that a little bit more after you said it. Do you mind if I kind of expound on this or whatever, and just see
Yeah,
where they go?
there's lots of different things that you can do like that, but I bring that up because I actually asked that one time in an interview, and I got immediate feedback on how I did. I did it 2 times actually. And right after I learned how to do that, I started doing it, and the feedback that I got was incredible. And not only can you clear things up, but you can see areas where maybe it wasn't discussed in the interview, but hey, now I know I need to go learn this, or those sorts of things. PBO, based on the specific job role, not me as a person.
I still want to answer, but I get exactly what you said. I get exactly what you said, because I'm just coming from the Fed, and a lot of times they already have people identified, so they scared you might come back, and so yeah. But no, I get what you
Well,
said.
and I'm not interviewing for government work either, so
No, facts, 100%. That's why I brought that up like that, because I know it's different for that type.
yeah, for
And
sure.
the crazy thing is, I work for private companies, but they all do Fed work, so that's kind of where that kind of comes from. But and like
Well,
you said,
Chris, the disclaimer for all this conversation, just is like he said beforehand. This is all our different takes on it, right? Because you got to do what works best for you and what works best for the company. You'll know, you should, hopefully in your gut, if you will, or hopefully somewhere up here, that this conversation's going great. I feel good. I feel confident. Hopefully you should at the beginning, but you'll kind of see if they're starting to slack off, doze off, whatever. And you can either try to bring the conversation back around and pump up the energy, or maybe it's a lost cause. But never go in with the negativity. Always go in with the positivity, and do your best. And
yeah, I
fate
agree.
be fate.
Yeah, and I think, Dave, especially since you're pivoting, interviewing our interviews to just add to your base, getting you more comfortable. Add to two is, okay, I need to maybe work on my cloud narration a little better in case I get hemmed up. So all interviews are good interviews. So that's kind of my thought pattern. Like I said, now I know what I'm doing because Mr. Whitlock didn't give me, but no, it was fine. Like I said, I usually interview people on the second line anyway, so it's all good. So no, I thought you did excellent, Cam. I thought like B-Dubs, maybe what you said, you're gonna get a little better in the cloud, so kind of tighten that up, because I think everything is cloud based now. So I think.
Well, and I was using that as an example to make a point. I wasn't using that as feedback to his
Oh,
specific.
I'm giving it as feedback. Let's be clear. I'm giving it as feedback, not you. I'm giving it as feedback. So
B-Dubs, you said you had a list. I've heard like 2 things.
Maybe we need to
She's
set up
probably
a
trying to
call
be
later.
nice.
But no, I thought you did.
B-Dubs tried to be nice.
No, I thought you did perfectly well on it. I think where your skills were at, I thought you handled everything pretty well. I mean, so that's kind of
my biggest thing is always too, like into part way into even this mock interview, right? I realized like, all right, he's asking, and maybe this job requires more more ability or knowledge set than I have. And my biggest thing is always just like it, and this I guess is one of my takeaways or ideas is be true to yourself. Like don't pretend if you don't have experience, don't BS your way into experience. So like just be true to what you have. And like David said something about trying to maintain that positive attitude, and you can even have a positive attitude that it's not going well, like
oh yeah.
it is what it is. So
let me throw out something. Anytime
Then
I
ask
interview
for validation on your parking before you leave.
Oh, facts. No, but this is serious. When I interview, I did that on purpose, Cam. I knew where you're at. I'm gonna ratchet up and try to make you uncomfortable to see what you say. That was by design. That wasn't by accident. That was. I'm gonna ask you something you don't know because I want to see if you're gonna try to bullshit me. So that was. I start ratcheting up the questions. I went from like entry level. Oh, let's get a little medium. Let's see what Cam gonna do. So now I start ratcheting it up a little bit just to see how you handle it. So, if you go on the entry level, I'm gonna ask you a medium question. If you were doing a medium question, I'm gonna ask you something senior. If you ask you something senior, I'm gonna ask you something so detailed tech wise. There's a few questions you're not gonna be able to answer. That's by design.
Yeah.
Well, I think as the interviewer, so let's flip the role then. Let's all play from PBO's point of view.
PBO don't want no feedback. I'm good. Now, what you got for me?
You shouldn't try to beat the person up that you're interviewing, but you could definitely, test them based upon what they put in their resume, what brought them to the table in the first place, or via Zoom, whatever, right? But and then if they try to BS you, that's when you can kind of slowly, like you said, interject those things. But however, hopefully you brought this person on because you really think that they do have some brought them to the table at least to talk, that they have some value that they could be to you, whether it's a junior role or not. But
you realize we're talking about PBO here, right?
Well, I know. I'm just saying from anybody who's in a position to possibly interview somebody, or it's treat people how you'd like to be treated is the way I'm trying to think about it. Now I know that PBO's doing this for show because he throw punches for real though.
No, that's how I interview for real. I do interviews for real on the second line. Those are the questions I usually ask. Once again, I'm gonna ratchet up a little bit. I don't know if you don't like that, Dave, but I'm gonna ratchet it up a little bit.
I don't think you did anything bad.
B-Dub said I was being too nice. She put in chat. Go ahead.
I think it's important to do those things to, number one, see if they are going to try and make something up to, sound good or whatever. But not just for that, but you can kind of see where the top level of their experience is, or what they're prepared for. When you hit that top level, you're going to find out because they're not going to have an answer, and then you'll kind of better understand what knowledge they do have with that particular topic.
I feel like
when you hit that wall, you can back down.
And
I feel like, especially these days, recruiters leverage the fact of the nervousness and stress that an interview entails, and they try to push the interviewees into a wall kind of thing to see where they stand and also how they act under that pressure too, especially in this space in particular. Like when you asked him about CIS or 53.
Yeah, facts. Because to be honest, Dave, I expect one of your answers to be, I don't know. I didn't get to that on Cam. I like Cam. I want one of your answers going to be with me, I don't know, because I want you to say it. I want you to physically say it. It's like the Hunger Games.
It sounds like a power struggle, but regardless, no.
May the odds be in your favor. It's the Hunger Games. May the odds be in your favor.
Odds always be in your favor, for real.
But you can ask those questions in a nice way that's not pushy. You're really, and PBO did a great job of it. And but don't let it get to your head. But you can ask those in a way to really gauge their experience level, their level of knowledge, without pushing them and making them feel intimidated or stressed out. I think that's really important during an interview.
I know you said wall, but Chris back against the wall. But I think maybe B-Dubs, and it doesn't matter the metaphor here, but like you find that ceiling. Is that what you were kind of getting at, B-Dubs? Like what's the top?
Yeah. I said wall, but I meant the top end, the ceiling. Yeah. Words are hard.
Yeah, it's just like what PBO mentioned, like, oh, if you mention these keys, then I'm going to ask you more questions about these keys to figure out where does that knowledge drop off.
Yeah.
But then also, like, especially with the applicant poll nowadays, let's say you pull 10 candidates aside for this, you're going to want to pick the best one, of course. You're going to be paying them the same pay range, hopefully,
I think it's
within budget.
I think it's cultural fit more than knowledge now, to be honest, but I don't know.
Hey, to your I
True.
don't know question, PBO, I like that but it's how they respond to that too. If it's just the I don't know and they stop, it's kind of a little dangerous. I don't think anybody should ever. No, they shouldn't do that. But I don't know that particular item. But I can definitely look it up and get back to you if you allow me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I could send you an email. That's where you can kind of already preface that you're going to send an email. You know, you can do all types of little. It's all about the wordplay about how you. And so that I definitely you should always go into an interview humble. It doesn't matter if you're Gerald Auger or one of us little peons down here at the bottom of the barrel. But go into that. You've got some value to give, ladies and gentlemen. You got value to give, regardless. And just like PBO said, culture fit. I can train you, more than likely do anything. But if you don't work well with the people that you're working with, then it's a moot point. I'm going to have to let you go, or not even bring you on.
Fine.
Yeah, and you should never be afraid to say I don't know, but never just say I don't know. And just like you said, there's always a way that you can, I don't know, but I've seen this when I did this, or I've done this before, but I just don't remember. But I have it in my notes here, and all of those things that you can, or here's how
PBO
I would
walking
look
in
it
with
up.
his resume that just says PBO in gigantic letters and being like, I don't know, but I can Google it.
I tell people a lot of times, I don't know, but that's maybe something I'm investigating, or that's the next level I try to get to. Because people get with me on Docker and Kubernetes. I got a high level, but when they drill down, I'll be like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get it better in 2025, 2026. I'm hoping to get
do you think that comes from your close working with legal and so forth, where you're like, I don't know nothing?
No, the guys at DOD did that to me because they were saying, and they liked it. I said, I don't know, but because they said, you know how many people came in here and try to bullshit us. So he said people were saying something, but I had people do that. I'm like, they would ramble on, and I'm like, that was incoherent and it doesn't make sense. And I let it go, but I'm writing it down. Sorry, homie, you ain't making it to round 2.
No, PBO's response is, I don't know, but I either have a YouTube video about it, or if I don't, that'll be my next one.
Yeah. Because Kubernetes, I got a lot of Kubernetes, and I just told them that's what I'm learning. That's going to be my 2026, 2027. That's the next tech stack. But then I try to bring it around. I'm familiar with serverless and 3-tier. The next level I know is that, and I'm trying to get to that. So that's kind of how I kind of ease into that question. If I don't know.
I think when you get to say you've been in the game for a little bit and you're hiring for something, you need to hit them up with the great auditor answer of it depends, and then but be ready to argue both sides. But if you can do that, if they ask you one of those questions that could be a 50-50, you could blow their mind with, holy crap, I didn't even think about it like that. Or you could be like, this smart ass son of a gun right here.
No, I tell you, I had an interview and we were talking about mitigating control. So I got just something in my back pocket. We had an accounting piece of software. It had a Cat 1. We couldn't figure it out. So we had people get static IP addresses. We took it offline. They only needed it last week. So I kind of walked through the things for a mitigation control. He goes, wow, I never thought about that. Man, I was like, I've been using that for 10 years. Mitigation. So that's in my back pocket. I can pull it out, right? So
100%.
But now, Kim, you did excellent. Like I said, those things I knew I was kind of ratcheting it up on you a little bit. But no, I thought everything, from my point of view, I thought it was a really great interview. Like I said, you said what you needed to work on. I knew that. That's why I answered those hard AWS and started ratcheting it up a little bit because I knew you were kind of weak on that. So
one of the reasons that I wanted, to volunteer or kind of do this with you is is twofold. One, I know I'm in good hands with this group, right?
Facts.
So there's there's no real fear there. You got, unless you figure out how to virtually throat punch somebody, there's no physical danger.
I'll love.
But the other thing is, I knew that there's a lot of gaps for me, and so I wanted to be able to present, like, how do we approach these things, if we don't have the experience, if we don't know what to say. The whole I don't know thing is really on point.
I
the whole thing too. Somebody mentioned something about too many ums. That's a massive need of improvement for.
No, you're fine. Especially on the. I thought you answered the AWS appropriately. You get more skills. You getting into that. So I thought that was appropriately for especially for the level of job, and that's what I guess I need to ask Chris, what level. But once again, I'm a ratchet it up a little bit anyway. That's just kind of my style. I need to get something like I don't quite know what that should be. But I thought you danced around it perfectly. I thought you answered it. I didn't think you were bullshitting me. You're like, I'm here, I'm there. This is kind of where I'm at. So I thought that was perfect.
So I guess that AI screen recorder thing is working for you then, Cam, right?
Yeah, it was. Yep. No, it's in my ear. It was listening and being like, yeah. I was like, hey, I'm about to enter an interview. Please respond to all the questions you hear.
So now but that's the thing now. Are people reading from their screen, or can you answer some stuff, which I don't care. There's some things you can't write everything on your screen. So, but for that job description, I thought you did I thought you did an excellent job on it. So
I think you did very well.
Yeah, what we're going to start doing, like to combat that, is have little small recordings that only the computer microphones can pick up, and maybe it just throws in some shit, and then you see if they respond with something really weird. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Now that's where we make some money. That's how you beat those AI.
That actually, I could actually see that becoming a thing where like Zoom has a feature you can enable if you're doing an interview, and it just like has low tones or something to mess it up or whatever else. Yeah, I could see that
low
happening.
tones. Yes, for sure. That's a Conehead reference. Y'all know that one, do you? Okay.
I think I did.
No, I do not.
I did. I'm old enough. I think I was like,
maintain low tones. I'm sorry.
I know when you said it, I thought I remember. I thought it was... that is old though.
You guys need to stop trying to throw me in your age group. But I do know that from just my love of SNL. So you're good.
Yeah, that is true from SNL. I forgot about it from SNL. Now you brought that up. But no, like I said, once again,
Cam, are you currently looking for a position? I'm sorry if I missed that earlier. I was trying to jump late in, out, and around.
Yeah. No, I definitely am. Kind of in that entry level GRC type of role.
So shout out to the 53 Buddha High Trust. Now I'm just playing.
I mean, we just went through and roasted his resume, so.
I thought that. So I thought that was his.
A lot of work,
sure, but I was trying to eat, and then I was trying to get ready for another call. But anyways, yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you got to stay consistent. I did remember Double R beating you up on that. So
both of them is in there, both Double R. So I called.
Rhonda Rumfilm and Ronyas.
Yeah, I called Rhonda R squared prime because she got the other one by a couple years. So I called her R squared prime. I had to separate them. R squared prime versus R squared. They probably don't even know that. So, but now, Kim, I think you did a great job. And if you want to do it again once you get comfortable, just let me know. I don't know. Now I know what we're doing since we just showed up. Chris just sent me the job description and your couple of curriculum week. I just thought we were going over resumes, but it's all good, like I said.
Yeah, and like Rhonda's also volunteering to be an interviewer. I mean, hey, if we get enough interviewers, we could start doing panel interviews.
I love it.
That's a different level, man. That is a different level, man.
Yeah, we're trying to decide whether this would be a fit on YouTube itself. Fewer people are going to be willing to volunteer for it, but it is definitely a learning, growing environment. It may end up in Discord. We'll play it by ear and see, but we do have a poll running right now on YouTube if you guys want to vote on that aspect.
I think you should do both. I thought you should do one-on-one, and the next one to have them do the panel, but I don't know. Maybe that's too much. Kind of grow into
start doing stages of mock interviewing. Is that what you're saying? Are you going to get this non-existent job? We could make it like a TV series.
Man, that's like Kung Fu Bruce Lee, man. You got to go through the different chambers. I got to go to different chambers of death. So.
Oh, gosh.
You know, Bruce Lee didn't survive, so let's not try to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's not
R
try to
square
hurt
prime.
nobody.
R square prime. I'm not calling you old. I said a couple years.
I was wondering when she was going to respond to that. I mean, like, dang, you
Just a
didn't have to
little-
say none of that. You didn't.
Well, I had to separate them, man. A little bit. Shout out to
Well, you
Prime.
could have said like R dubs, you know,
R-dub.
dubs 2 and then R squared. But
Prime, I like that. That's prime numbers, man. That's very important.
Okay.
That's very important in math. Shout out to B-Dub. Prime numbers are very important in mathematics.
Shout out to me.
Shout out to B-Dub. But shout out to once again, Cam. That was a good deal. So no, I thought
Are you going to help
well.
interview David?
yeah, let's do it.
Bam, now we got 3 interviewers. We could run 3 separate groups.
The cool thing though is
Or a panel.
I think each
Or
of
a
them got
panel.
different styles too. I think Dave's much nicer than me. So I don't know. So I think
Well, and there was another person who reached out too that would be really good for PCI. So maybe this would be another offset of like
our
the
man
coffee
Jaime
mafia.
or somebody else. Jaime or somebody else.
Somebody else.
Okay, I miss my man Jaime. I need to reach out to him. I ain't been in his Discord in a minute. Give me some dinner.
Well, you know, that's why I'm going for my QSA. So hopefully I can kick some
Are
butt on
you?
that PCI. Yeah, that's why. So I got the CISA
Oh.
done, and SISM starts next week. Not the test, but the study.
Okay. Yeah.
I had to push it back for kids going back to school and this stuff. But yeah, I'm
Yes,
going
sir.
CISM. You got to have two certs, and one of them has to be a management side, and the other I don't know.
I guess so.
You can look. You can look.
Does
it
your
up,
high
but
trust one not count?
No,
I guess so.
I'm
That's a-
eyeballing that.
that's
That
a high
one's
trust
so
specific only. But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I like high trust now.
Yeah, but I don't.
Well, Chris, when you're ready, I got a job for you, buddy. Come on over.
Oh,
We'll be high
gosh.
trust specific. We're gonna make
Oh,
you a
God.
technical services manager in the high trust.
Oh, hell.
Just the high trust.
The
But
big-
yeah,
That's
part
called
about
red
that-
flags.
You know what? I'll throw this out there for anybody who's actually that does do any of this or seen it. I know that B-Dubs has, but when you go to write those requirement statements up, oh my goodness, you got all those 27 evaluative elements to look at. Holy moly!
for QSA.
That's no. Sorry for the high trust part. but
Okay.
For
Best
PCI,
part.
it's a little bit more. It's a little easier. But
I agree.
when you're trying to write an implemented procedure for high trust, I'm going through one right now that I'm going to be able to do it, but it ain't the most fun. I'm behind. I'll just say that I'm behind right now. But
Yeah, I need
Hey,
to
here
dig-
we go.
I need to-
Panel
I need-
interviews with good cop, bad cop. That's a great idea.
I would love to be the bad cop.
you can't be laughing like that. Nuh-uh.
I
See, you
mean,
ain't the bad cop unless you're the
it's
crazy
always-
cop.
Oh, I can be serious. I can be serious. I mean, it's always my fault anyways, so
Facts.
right.
But yeah, so
Why did PBO just say it was your fault? Why is it your fault?
Chris, it's
Oh.
Chris saying
Oh,
that. not
Chris
me.
says it
Yeah,
always-
not
oh,
me.
that's
It's
right.
always B-Dub's fault.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Chris says it's always my fault, and I just accept it because yeah, it is what it is. We all make mistakes. It
I
happens.
think Chris gets
Fine.
woke up in the middle of the night by a thunderstorm. He's like, "It's Vito's fault," and then he goes
It
back
probably
to sleep.
is. I did something
At this point.
at this point.
Facts. Oh man.
Well, Cam, I didn't know that you were actually still looking as well. I can't tell people I get them a job, but if I can assist in some ways, I will definitely do my best to try. And if it's mock interviews or point you in the right direction or whatever, that's,
Will you even go through and set them up with a firm like remote desktop and so forth?
Oh wow.
yes, I just need all your passwords, your social security number. I
Just
will take
checking.
care of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just send over your firstborn. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Firstborn's off the table. Middle child's up for debate.
Okay. I mean,
Oh,
whatever
God.
works for you.
31 questions is a lot of questions. 31.
Yeah, Rhonda saying my last panel was 3 people, one asking question, the other 2 writing notes and scoring answers, was 31 questions. That's crazy when you need 2 people. to pay attention like that.
That sounds like an interview. That sounds like an
Yeah.
auditing when
Yeah.
I'm doing my auditing.
Yeah,
I'm leading the
and then
call, I got
afterwards
two.
they're gonna compare the notes and scores.
Yeah, maybe they're just looking for two separate perspectives rather than needing two people to do that.
We had to do that at the Florida Department of Transportation. So basically, for all state jobs, we had to do that. They had to have 3 people, but they all had questions to ask. Though there was a list, and you're like, okay, I got these 6, you got these 6, and I got these 6.
What I've seen before is like they'll have a person from HR, they'll have a person from that team or department lead, and then they'll have the recruiter. But then they'll compile the questions ahead of time.
I've never used a recruiter, so when y'all keep mentioning it like it's something,
Most
commonplace.
But
I'm
he's
sure
up
it is
there with the
commonplace
big
in some,
money
but
too.
most of the jobs, I probably would say half of them, because now most of the companies, and especially federal, they want you to contract to hire. So they want you to work for this contracting company to test you out before they hire you. So to me, those are the recruiters. So those are a lot of people that reach out to me that I end up interviewing with, because people want to do contract to hire and test you out. So.
And then it's kind of crazy because once you get high enough, then they want you to go back as a contractor. So, lack of liability.
Facts.
That's a reference to Edward Snowden, if nobody caught that.
I got that. Yeah.
Working for Dell.
no, I gotta say I missed that one, but
Yeah, so
Yeah, I did
Edward
too.
Snowden, he talks about how, when he started working for the NSA, he was legally a contractor for the government, but his official job title was with Dell.
Mm-hmm.
But he was contracted from Dell to the NSA.
I worked 10 years at DOD.
I wonder how much Dell makes on that deal, just to say that they worked for them.
Oh, a lot. Usually it's
Check their stock.
Usually, if you're mid-level, especially for the Big Four, they take 60% of the contract. So the claim could be like $120 an hour. You're gonna get 60, and they're gonna take 60.
Yeah, he even outlines. They show it in the movie, but he also mentions in the book that what literally happened is that this contact at Dell, he literally met one time, and they're like, "This is how much you're making," and never talked to Dell ever again.
Facts. My last 3 jobs when I was at DOD was like that.
Yeah,
I met him one time, then I went to DOD office like I worked for him. They
exactly.
direct deposit my check, and I think I went to one office party. So no, that's kind of how
that office didn't exist. There was there was dust on the chair and everything.
No, it exists because they were mad at me because I'm, they try to do
even
team
the fire
building.
extinguishers were gone.
No, they try to do team building. PBO too big for that. Just drop that money in my bank account. I don't need to go meet people. Just drop my money in my bank account, man.
Man, you guys are making me nervous with all these panel interviews. Jeez.
Oh, DOD,
especially with that 4-hour
AWS
one.
was brutal, man. I told you we were making like 5 of them every 50 minutes. You get 10-minute break and you meet somebody else.
I'm hoping I just have an interview at a conference one day. Like, geez.
I think that's I ain't gonna say it's new, but yeah, panel's real big now. Especially depending on if you're going for a senior level job. I think most of those are panels.
I feel it's more important because they have such
by somebody at a. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think it's just becoming more common just because they have such bad knack of like people falling through, turnaround. But yeah, like I know people who got hired or swapped jobs and so forth at conferences. So.
Oh wow! Okay, I got you. I didn't know if you just wanted like somebody, Philip Wiley to interview you at a con. That's what I was wondering.
He's getting up there. He's getting close, man. He's getting up there. They're gonna see him at Red Hat or Black Hat, one of them hats.
God,
Chris is not allowed to leave the state.
GRC con.
GRC con. Facts, man.
There is a GRCon. I have to look it up again, but it's in northern Minnesota and it's all around GRC. That's the only one that's not like ISACA or some crazy, Gardner meetup.
You gonna present there? You gonna present there soon?
I haven't looked at it. I think the next one's next year.
You should present.
That sounds too close to gherkin, like the pickle. Gherkin.
Facts.
Yeah, there's like this entire thing around GRCon. Yeah.
There's this new Spanish song out there that goes grr, grr.
Oh,
Sorry,
geez.
you gotta.
Oh my goodness.
That sound like an HR. That
Oh.
sound like an HR issue. Right?
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, before
HR.
we got to get HR involved here, I guess David's getting muted here.
Grr.
Yeah, where's
You
that
don't need to
mute
get-
button?
Yeah, you need to get David a banner. You need to get David a banner pretty soon.
Yeah, Luke said I got let go from a job once for not going to happy hours while I was still in the probate period.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I could believe that too. Like PBO, and it was mentioned earlier on Culture Fit too. Like when I worked union, for an example, like if you had the option not to join the union, but if you didn't, life was hell.
Yeah.
So,
Look,
and you were
that's
way more likely.
I
That's
mean,
why I
that sounds
learned-
like a win for Luke right there.
No, I'm not getting let go.
Not a
but
loss.
But yeah, that's one reason I learned how to golf, Luke. So we would go on these golfing outings and charity events we had to go through. So that's why I learned how to golf.
There was a company that I worked for that I put my like 2 weeks notice in, or like 30-day notice, because I was the only person for their on call. And then they literally had an entire like corporate meetup kind of thing after hours at a resort, all company paid. It was awesome. And then I still left.
You don't have to go to those things and drink. I mean, you can go to hang out, but
Yeah, that is a skill at the senior level, how to smooth and network and have conversations with people, especially as Josh say, you don't touch grass very often. That could be very disconcerting. So I got an excellent smooth game, so I usually do well.
Yeah, like you said, golf.
So yeah, I got an excellent smooth game. My ex used to get mad because I would hate going, and she goes, "Everybody likes you. Why don't you go?" She said, "You're the only person talk to the president's son about Eminem, then you talk to the president about the velocity of money." I go, "PBO has a deep bag. PBO has a deep smooth bag."
Yeah, and then we're coming to an end here in just a minute, but I never went to the happy hours when I worked for the Department of State. I was the only female, so it just felt weird.
Facts.
I mean, like all of the I don't know, especially like after hours, like it, especially in the corporate world, it seems way more obligated than anything else.
Government.
Yeah,
was
if
the
it's
same
after
way.
hours, I'm going if I want to go. I'm not going if I don't want to go.
I'm going because I had to go. I know the game.
Mm-mm.
I know the game.
If I have to go and I don't want to go, then it's not a good fit.
Oh, facts. But PBO got to
Yeah,
make
and
his
then-
money. My mother told me a long time
That could be
ago-
your next video, PBO. You know, communication and playing the game.
My mother told me this a long time ago. Young man, you're gonna do a lot of shit in this world you don't like, so you need to get ready. So I always just kept that. I always just tell my grandkids, you're gonna do a lot of shit in this world you don't like. So yeah.
Any final remarks there, David?
Shout out to David.
no, hey, just want to tell everybody, if you're on here still and you haven't and you want some extra help, maybe hit up that Coffee with the Mafia. I had a very good call earlier tonight, and I hope to I led this person in the right direction. We'll see. Time will tell. They're going to follow up with me on LinkedIn. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it's a good success. I think I've had good calls and good people, and I encourage other people to join. I'm sure Chris is probably dropping in the chat right now, and I can't see it because I'm on Restream. But I forgot I can hit that button right there. I've been looking at my
I was gonna say the button's
private
there,
chat
man.
the whole time. Shut up! I hit the wrong button.
Hey, it's been a long week.
I'm like the button there, but go ahead. I'm looking at it, but go ahead.
I know. I just
feel
realized
you.
I've been looking at the wrong button. Anyways, yes, it's been a long week, so keep up the good work, everyone, and let us know your wins, and hey, if you got other stuff, whatever, let's just get on here. We got to open channel tomorrow, Chris, right?
Facts.
Yep. Yeah, noon Eastern.
Shout out to Eastern.
So y'all have
We have
a
our
fantastic
Friday
evening.
AMA every Friday.
Yes, I
Bam.
couldn't get out AMA. Sorry.
No worries.
It's
We'll see you there, guys.
Yeah, open stage.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for hopping up too. What about you, B-Dubs? Final last words?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value shared tonight. If anyone needs more help or assistance, definitely check out that Coffee with the Mafia. Yeah, we're happy to help, but also in that, if you're really looking for a job, you've got to do some work yourself and actually apply the things that we're talking about. You don't always have to do exactly what we say, but make it yours. Do what works for you, but try to be better. Try to take in that criticism and constructively, and nerd, learn, and grow. Right, Cam?
Facts.
What about you, PVO? Final last remarks?
No, I really enjoyed it. Once again, I thought Kim did an excellent job. And like you said, take advantage of the Coffee Mafia. And once again, if anybody needs anything, Chris can find me because a lot of times I don't look in Discord.
Chris can
I'll let you know an hour ahead of time.
Facts. But no. Once again, I thought it was excellent. I see everybody tomorrow at the AMA.
Bam. And then PVO's got to get a stream scheduled. It's 7 p.m. next week?
It is. I'm gonna bump it up. I'm gonna do some on AI. I was thinking of you and Cam, so I was gonna do some AI with this, and we always get into the hallucination debate. So put our toe back into the hallucination debate. So I'll probably get that scheduled tomorrow since I'm changing the time. So
Bam. What about you, Cam?
Yeah, I thank you to PBO. Thank you to all of you for the feedback. One thing I've often thought of in life is, and I'm sure I'm not alone, like a lot of people think like, if I just get a chance, if someone just gives me a chance, right? When it comes to applying for jobs. And I'm learning the value of putting in the work so you're ready for the opportunity. And I think that's one thing this group's really good at, rather than just waiting around for your chance. Put in the work so that so you're ready when the chance happens. So
facts.
Yeah, appreciate all y'all for the feedback and the opportunities for growth here. Don't be surprised if you see these things in my accountability channel. So.
Oh gosh.
Hey, luck is when skill and opportunity meet. That's exactly what that is.
Facts.
So
Facts.
remember that.
100%.
Good point. Yeah, thank you to everybody popping up on the panel here, hopping into chat, joining us throughout, and especially shout out to PBO and Cam. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to pop up here and do a mock interview, Cam. And you did an awesome job. And then we also had 3 of the different resumes as well. If you guys want to get yours reviewed next time, the best way to do that is through our contact form on our website at the very bottom. Just make sure you submit it redacted. We did have one more that did not make it into the mix because it was not redacted. And then, yeah, of course, we have the Friday AMA tomorrow, 11 o'clock Central Time, noon Eastern, live here on YouTube. And then, yeah, you guys have a great rest of the night. Catch you guys tomorrow and in the Discord server, GRC Mafia.
Do you love cybersecurity and GRC? Do you like analogies stretched further than my hairline? Then do I have a channel for you? Hi, my name is Cameron, also known as Cam, and I want to invite you to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cam Goddess, where I dive into various topics, frameworks, terms, and foundational knowledge within the broad categories of cybersecurity and GRC. I'm passionate about these things and about taking complex concepts and making them more easily understandable, more easily defined. Everyone is a nerd about something, so come, nerd, learn, and